I am very concerned that this is part of a culture that is resulting in the high levels of sexual assault.
Too little, too late. Congress demanding action now on a marine photo scandal.
All I did was come out and open a robot and grab my food. It was quick, easy.
To tip or not to tip your robot, the pint-sized delivery service on wheels that could be rolling into a neighborhood near you. And batter up. An international cast returns for baseball at Petco Park tonight. KPBS Evening Edition starts right now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Ebony Monet. All eyes on the nation's top Marine today. General Robert Neller testified on Capitol Hill about a nude photo scandal.
I'm committed to making this right, and I need all Marines equally committed. We all have to commit to getting rid of this perversion to our culture. Enough is enough.
Neller was talking about current and former Marines who are sharing nude photos of female Marines online and making lewd or threatening comments about them. Neller says he intends to fix the problem, but some angry senators say the military hasn't done enough.
It is a serious problem when we have members of our military denigrating female Marines who will give their life to this country in the way they have, with no response from leadership. I can tell you, your answers today are unsatisfactory.
The Naval Criminal Investigation Service has launched an investigation and is asking victims of photo sharing to come forward. A retired Navy admiral from Coronado was among 9 high-ranking military officers arrested today in a bribery scandal. Bruce Lovelace faces several charges, including conspiracy to commit bribery and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. The case has received attention over the last several years as the Fat Leonard case. The investigation showed Navy officers who took bribes in exchange for confidential information that helped contractor Leonard Glenn Francis land lucrative contracts. The USS Carl Vinson and 5,000 plus crew members are heading to South Korea. United Press International says this deployment is intended to send a strong warning to North Korea, which continues to expand its nuclear weapons and missile program. The American aircraft carrier is set to join in joint exercises with South Korea Armed Forces. Since mid-February, USS Vinson has been part of operations in the South China Sea. There's a new push to help non-citizen veterans deported from the U.S. San Diego Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez Fletcher introduced a bill to establish a fund to cover their legal cost. There are special provisions in federal law to speed up naturalization for service members. The San Diego Democrat says immigrants who serve and fight for the U.S. have earned their right to become citizens. She also says it's a powerful way to recruit bright and talented men and women. Experts find older and poorer Californians would be hit the hardest under the Republicans' plan to replace the Affordable Care Act. KPBS health reporter Kenny Goldberg says millions of people in California could be adversely affected.
Under the Republican plan, a 60-year-old in San Diego who makes $40,000 a year would get a $4,000 tax credit to buy health insurance. That's 22% less financial help than they get under Obamacare. The Republican tax credits are based on age, not income. Carmen Balber directs a nonprofit consumer watchdog.
What we can anticipate is prices going up for older and lower income Americans, and subsequently more and more of them dropping coverage because they can't afford it.
The plan would also cut federal funds for the Medi-Cal program starting in 2020. As a result, many people could lose their Medi-Cal coverage. Kenny Goldberg, KPBS News.
2 California utility companies have been awarded $125 million this week. It's part of a dispute with the maker of a flawed equipment that forced the closure of the San Onofre nuclear plant. And while this may seem like a lot of money, KPBS reporter Amita Sharma says it's a tiny fraction of what the utilities had sought.
Southern California Edison and San Diego Gas and Electric had demanded $7.6 billion from Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, but an arbitration panel this week awarded the companies just $125 million. And Edison is required to pay $58 million of that to cover Mitsubishi's legal fees. No word yet on how much of the remainder will be given to customers. The panel's ruling came as no surprise to customer advocates. They had said Edison's demand of billions from Mitsubishi with the idea that consumers would get half was a ruse. While Edison had accused Mitsubishi of misconduct in building the equipment that sprung a radioactive leak at San Onofre, documents suggested more complexity. A report by Mitsubishi stated that Edison was aware of the project's risks, but that the company didn't make changes because it wanted to avoid a federal license amendment process. Amita Sharma, KPBS News.
While it's still unknown how much of the award will be given to ratepayers, here's a reminder of how much you may already be paying for shutdown cost and why. The price tag for customers was tabulated during a secret meeting between former state regulator Michael Peavy and an Edison executive.
In March 2013, the PUC's Peavy flew to Poland. There he met Edison executive Stephen Pickett at a fancy hotel. The two talked about San Onofre, sometimes called songs. Pickett actually wrote about the meeting in an email to an Edison colleague in which he said he sat next to Peavy at dinner in Warsaw. And then he added, quote, "Working songs deserve combat pay." Peavy and Pickett soon came up with a framework for a settlement that determined who should pay for San Onofre's closure. That framework nearly matched the final settlement announced more than a year later. Customers were left with the bulk of the bill, $3.3 billion to pay for what's been characterized by the media as shutdown costs. But wait a minute. What about the $4.2 billion that's already in the decommissioning fund? Wasn't that supposed to cover those shutdown costs? The $3.3 billion customers will pay over the next 10 years is actually meant for Edison and SDG&E to still get a return on their San Onofre investment, even though the plant no longer works. The settlement also calls for customers to pay for all the power they now have to buy from other providers, with San Onofre offline. Ratepayer advocates say that's customers getting double billed. So let's tally all the costs customers are paying for San Onofre's closure. There's about $1 billion for the decommissioning fund that's already been paid, plus nearly $600 million for the steam generators. Then $3.3 billion in the settlement agreement to cover some of Edison's lost profit from San Onofre. About $5.5 billion for interim replacement electricity and plants being built to make up for San Onofre's power generation. If you add up those numbers, you get $10 billion. Divide by the number of customer meters, and you are paying about $1,600 for San Onofre. Most of those costs will be spun out over the next decade or two. Is it fair for customers to pay that much for the San Onofre debacle? Critics say no. The California Public Utilities Commission is tasked with protecting consumers, making sure they get electricity at a fair price, and regulating utilities. But it never investigated whether Edison was at fault for the San Onofre shutdown.
We continue to cover the fallout from the San Onofre shutdown and how it affects customers on air and online at kpbs.org. A group of San Diego street performers called buskers say their constitutional rights are being violated by city codes and ordinances that regulate where they can perform. Some attended today's city council meeting to ask for some changes, like doing away with citations. William Dorsett is leading the effort.
I've got a ticket now that I'm currently going through court with, and it's a misdemeanor. I know that in itself costs, stuff on my record.
We just want to entertain people, sell our art, and have a good time, and enjoy the tourists, and have the tourists enjoy us.
Jugglers, fire throwers, magicians, and mimes say they add flavor to San Diego. San Diego Unified teachers are packing the Board of Education meeting tonight. They're calling for competitive pay, more resources for kids, and lower class sizes in their next union contract. This despite a $124 million deficit and some 1,500 pink slips landing in mailboxes. KPBS education reporter Megan Burks has more.
The San Diego Education Association is launching its campaign for a new contract. The union's current one ends June 30th. Union President Lindsey Birmingham says a more generous contract is possible if the district trims newer programs and spends in line with declining enrollment.
They've used one-time money to plug the hole, and they're not getting that one-time money this year. So they've used property sales and they've used one-time money from the governor. What we've seen is they also haven't attempted to control their expenditures.
Several critics have pointed to the district's new Family Resource Center as the kind of place to make cuts. It's seen as a pet project meant to help the district compete with charter schools, but it's also heading programs to help immigrant families and diverse students feel safe during tough political times. The district says the layoffs are necessary to deal with rising pension costs that will only get worse, and they're needed because of that declining enrollment. Its board agrees. Now, some of those receiving pink slips will be spared by early retirements. The district must trim 977 positions. Megan Burks, KPBS News.
They're kicking around another vision for Soccer City in San Diego. A new vision shows how an NFL team can play nicely with a Major League Soccer team. Check it out. This new sketch shows how a pro football stadium can fit into the Soccer City plan. You can also see 55 acres of parkland running along the trolley tracks. The 30,000-seat stadium would be used for an MLS team and San Diego State football. The developers say all this would be at no cost to taxpayers. Another San Diego mover and shaker wants to get in on the Mission Valley development, and he doesn't see why San Diego needs to knock down Qualcomm Stadium. KPBS reporter Eric Anderson explains the numbers and logic behind Doug Manchester's plan.
The Doug Manchester plan for Mission Valley. What is it? Essentially, the proposal redevelops 166 acres of city-owned land in Mission Valley. Yep, Qualcomm Stadium and that huge parking lot. Papa Doug is suggesting Qualcomm Stadium should be saved and renovated. $500 million ought to be enough, he thinks. Then it could house an NFL team, San Diego State University football, and an MLS soccer team. He would buy out the city's Qualcomm debt. He wants to build an indoor sports arena as well. And there's a plan to build 4,800 homes, 1 million square feet of office space, 500,000 square feet of commercial space, and hotels and parkland. SDSU could expand there, but they wouldn't own the land. Manchester plans on using private money to develop the project. He says no public dollars required.
Do you like the idea of a Major League Soccer city, or can San Diego do something else with the site? Share your thoughts about Football City on our Facebook page at KPBS San Diego. Baseball returns to San Diego's Petco Park tonight. The World Baseball Classic. The ballpark is hosting the second round of the International Baseball Tournament. KPBS's Matt Hoffman has more.
16 nations entered the 2017 World Baseball Classic a week ago. That field has been narrowed to 8, with 4 teams playing in San Diego this week. Those 4 teams include the United States, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and the Dominican Republic, who won the last Baseball Classic in 2013. John Quintera is a former sports radio host in San Diego. Now a talent recruiter for baseball, Quintera says World Classic games have a soccer-like atmosphere.
These World Baseball Classic games are like no regular baseball game you're ever going to go to in the United States. I mean, these countries, they come out with their drums, their flags, and everything else, and it's like a party scene in the stands.
At least 6 games will be played at Petco Park. The first is tonight at 6 p.m. when the Dominican Republic takes on Puerto Rico. For KPBS News, I'm Matt Hoffman.
A U.S. company has launched what it's calling the first fully robotic food delivery service in the country. AP reporter Robert Bumstead has the story.
Oh, wow. from the restaurant to his front door. Ben Breslerman's sandwich was just delivered entirely by a robot.
I mean, all I did was come out and open a robot and grab my food. It was quick, easy.
Food delivery company Postmates says it's the first service in the U.S. to use a fleet of robots to deliver food. The cooler-sized machines are now roaming the sidewalks of Washington, D.C., waiting for an order. Customers can go online or use the company's app to order a meal. The robot then heads to the restaurant using an array of sensors and cameras to navigate the sidewalk. The system creates a digital map to remember trouble spots, and it can even read electronic signs at crosswalks. An employee loads the food into a locked compartment and sends it on its way to the customer.
And they have a unique code that they can enter in order to open the compartment and retrieve the goods.
Russell Cook is Postmates Senior VP of Operations. The company is currently rolling out the service in D.C. as well as Redwood City, California, with plans to expand. Other companies have experimented with autonomous delivery using aerial drones. UPS is currently testing package delivery. But Postmates says given the current infrastructure, using sidewalks is the most practical approach.
It lets us drive down the cost of delivery by 80 to 90% over time, which opens up a whole new class of deliveries where people today just wouldn't be financially viable.
The robots are built by Estonia-based Starship Technologies, which has also partnered with several companies to offer delivery services in Europe. Postmates rollout in D.C. is the first fully operational program.
Yeah, so I think long term we would like to be in as many cities as possible. We think we have a real potential to have a positive impact in a number of ways. Just cutting down on traffic, cutting down on delivery vehicles, which require a huge input in terms of gas.
Despite their plans to expand, the rollout could be slow. Starship and its partners are required to negotiate with individual city governments to get permission for the robots to use the sidewalk. But in time, they say, we'll all have to get used to sharing the sidewalk with these six-wheeled machines. Robert Bumstead, Associated Press, Washington.
Well, it looks like more fog tonight in San Diego. Shanae Shocker has the forecast.
Taking a look at our satellite and radar, big ridge of high pressure keeping much of the Great Basin all the way down into the southwest and our Southern California coast very dry, and this radar shows it very clearly as well. So we have our area of high pressure sitting over Nevada into parts of Utah there, funneling all of those Pacific storms off into the Pac Northwest. So a lot of cloud cover and some heavier rounds of rain out towards the Pac Northwest coast, but obviously very clear across much of California here. For tonight, we'll be seeing low clouds filter in, so possible delays out there for your flights and some fog on the road. So going to want to make sure you turn those low beams on. 59 degrees for our low tonight in downtown San Diego. Climbing our way into the mountains here, well, it's relatively mild, 48 for Ramona, Alpine at 51, and into Mount Laguna at 47. Out towards the desert region into Borrego Springs, 60 degrees for tonight, and it's going to stay relatively mild and pretty warm, especially as you head into the desert regions of the southwest here. The coast going to stay relatively mild as we keep that marine layer on shore here. For this week, that's the story here. Going to stay nice and dry. Temperatures not going to be too bad. That is unless you're into the deserts, that ridge of high pressure funneling all that moisture, as I said earlier, taking a look at our future cast off towards the Pac Northwest and into the northern Rockies there. Overall, things are fairly calm. We take a look at our coastal forecast over the next 5 days and through the weekend. Temps only going to sit in those low to mid 70s here, so not too bad. Partly sunny skies. Towards the morning hours, could be seeing those lower clouds as well as some fog, so be paying attention to that. But outside of that, very nice weather. Inland, just a touch warmer here and cooling off for the weekend on your Saturday and Sunday. We'll see a little bit of sunshine out there as well, so some clouds, not too bad though. Into the mountains we go. Temps in those mid to upper 60s in through the end of your work week here. Going to need that jacket for those overnight temperatures. It's not too bad, but definitely cool enough to be needing something to keep you a little bit warm. Cloudy weather and temps dropping into those mid 60s as we head into the weekend. Last but not least, well, the desert's not going to need a jacket during the daytime, that is for sure. We're nearing those triple-digit temperatures here. 95 for Wednesday, staying in those mid-90s in through Friday. By Sunday, back into those upper 80s. For KPBS News, I'm Shanae Shocker.
Have you ever tried to give medicine to a baby? A St. Louis doctor has modified an ordinary pacifier to help parents with this daunting task. Brenda Madden explains the hack that has transformed the binky into a medical device.
These are the cases of them, so each of these has 8 units.
This is the packaging for Pacidose, a baby medical device that pairs a pacifier with a standard oral syringe to ease one of parenthood's most unpleasant tasks.
Giving medicine to a sick child can be difficult, and many children are given incorrect amounts.
It was developed by Dr. Agnes Scoville, a St. Louis emergency room doc.
When babies come in and they have respiratory problems, frequently we'll give them Prelone, which just doesn't taste good. It's a steroid, and they notoriously spit it out.
That discomfort hit home when she had her own daughter.
It was just one of those things where I was like, this has got to be easier. So I took a pacifier off the shelf, I drilled a hole in the back, I inserted an angiocath, which is what you use, to put an IV in somebody's arm, super glued it together, and tried it on her, and it worked great.
Dr. Scoville and her family were living in Los Angeles at the time, but soon after, her husband accepted a job in St. Louis.
I thought, okay, this is a great opportunity to try to get this business up and rolling. So I cut back to part-time in the ER and started working on this company, Scoville & Company. And, with the idea of, okay, I have these baby products, these ideas that would just allow moms and dads to give better care at home.
The Scovilles knew that St. Louis's lower cost of living would be a plus, but they had no idea that the other key to their success would be the resources of the city's growing startup community. In 2015, about a year after their move, they won an Arch grant, $50,000 in non-equity funding.
We're looking for companies that really see an opportunity to fundamentally shift how something is done so that it's better, it's more efficient, that they dominate.
Pacidose was certainly on its way to doing that. Soon after they moved to St. Louis, the Scovilles finalized their design and manufactured a small batch of 500 devices to test the market. Within months, they sold out on Amazon. But when Arch grants tapped them, it pushed things to the next level.
We got a lot of press, and then people started finding out about the product, and then, Schnucks and Dierberg started carrying the product. It just sort of generates this online buzz, too. So when then another company like Babies R Us investigates us, they say, oh, there's so many articles about her. Oh, look at this online buzz that really lends credibility to the whole company and to the product.
It also opened the door to more funding through the Accelerate St. Louis Challenge and the Metro East Startup Challenge at SIUE. In March, the company placed third in the nation in the SBA's highly competitive Innovate Her competition, which included a prize of $10,000. And remember that Babies R Us connection?
Hi, welcome everyone.
That happened in St. Louis as well during an Accelerate St. Louis CEO to CEO event that paired Dr. Scoville with former Energizer CEO Ward Klein.
He was absolutely fantastic and was able to introduce me to some other people who said, hey, we know this person at Babies R Us. How would you like to chat with them about your product?
Since Arch Grants was founded to bring new businesses to St. Louis's urban core, recipients are required to set up shop somewhere downtown for at least a year. Pacidose chose the T-Rex building on Washington, a business incubator and co-working space that's also home to Arch Grants.
Everybody in here, for the most part, is working in business, and they have access to conference rooms, phone booths, TVs, like all kinds of things that they would need to do presentations.
You're around all sorts of other entrepreneurs that are doing the same kinds of things you're trying to do. So the money's great, don't get me wrong, but it's sort of the collateral benefit of being in a working space like this that's great.
Over the last year, those forces have combined to put Pacidose on the map. It's now available in more than 200 stores nationwide and online through Amazon, and more deals are in the works.
Hi, Bonnie. This is Katie with Pacidose. How are you?
We want Pacidose to be on every single baby registry for every new mom.
Ultimately, we'd also like to have this in hospitals, but we'd need to change the manufacturing slightly so it's cheaper to make.
The opportunity that she has to do business here and research and raise funds in a hospital town, in a highly regarded medical community, that's a win.
What you have here is a really, really clunky prototype.
In the meantime, Dr. Scoville is working on new products that she hopes will have the same impact as Pacidose.
I got some really, heart-wrenching stories of, a pediatrician whose child has congenital heart disease who needs to take really big, kind of important medications every day. And she contacted me and said, this product has literally saved my daughter's life because she wouldn't take the medicine. It was really like, wow, I'm actually helping people, which was, a really good feeling.
You can see more stories like that one on SciTech Now, Sundays at 5:30, right here on KPBS. Coming up tonight on PBS NewsHour, a plucky project for chickens. The New England knitters who are helping them warm up during stormy weather.
This beautiful hen
that's a lovely
is not
sweater.
used to having sweaters put on her.
Okay.
But this is her first time, so we can give her a little credit for being nervous. But it's certainly a fetching sweater.
Plus, a blizzard sweeps through the Northeast, canceling flights and school. That's tonight on PBS NewsHour, starting at 7, right here on KPBS. When it comes to graduate programs, there aren't many better than the ones offered at UC San Diego. The school earns a top spot on U.S. News and World Report's Best of list. The School of Engineering, School of Medicine, Economics, and Political Science programs are all in the top 20. The magazine also ranks SDSU's nursing program at 28th in the nation. You can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org/evening edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.